interruption. And he's done a lot as well to, yes, in fact, my colleague, Mr. Okezie, was just reminding me of one of his major accomplishments. You know, out-of-school children is a major problem across Nigeria, but maybe especially in northern Nigeria. And I'm happy to tell you that through his efforts, Kogi State now has just 13% of the students out of school, where in some northern states it's as high as 50%. So it's on the basis of that his achievement, actually, that the World Bank removed Kogi State from the list of states of concern because they felt that his performance has been so stellar. So he has done a lot, but I want to also, Mr. Oloko, talk to you about something you didn't mention. And I think it's very important because many Nigerians, when I talk about Kogi State, they mention this issue, and it's an opportunity to talk about that as well. I think it really goes to show that not only are we talking about a candidate that respects local government, we're talking about a candidate that respects workers. So, and many people seem to have the opposing view, maybe because they had misinformation fed to them for a long period of time, especially during the governor's first term. So I want to explain about the salaries, the issues of salaries and pensions of workers in his state. When the governor came on board in 2016, it was to find that the workers were actually on strike. The labor union, the NLC of his state had called a strike because they were owed salaries. And he started to work on that issue right away because you cannot have a government without workers. And one of the first things he did, one of the first things he observed was that Kogi State had failed to ride on the BVN that President Jonathan had been able to put in place to digitize the salary and the payroll of workers in his state. So he started to work on that. It took him almost 24 months. But since 2018, this is a governor that has not owed workers' salaries at the state level, not even for 1 month.
2018.
Yes, since 2018. And I want you to I invite you to please try to really investigate, because so many people will be saying the opposite things, and it's lies. It's lies because there were whole schools that had teachers, principals, that when he started doing the verification exercise using the BVN, were discovered to be completely fake illusions. So there were people who, because of this exercise that he put in place, the verification exercise, we now found that there were people that were like vampires feeding the lifeblood of the state to themselves. And when he went and changed that system, of course, he created enemies, and those people started feeding stories. And that's why I ask the media to please help, because you can play a critical role in changing this this narration. It's false. It's actually that this is a governor that is trying to carefully husband the resources of the state to really benefit the people of the state. Now, in the past, you had small, powerful, connected people who were stealing much of the money of the state. You can't develop like that. No state, no country in the world can develop like that. And he has put a change in that system. He also, when he came on board, met an IGR of 350 million naira. He has built that IGR to over 1 billion naira in the state. At local government level, there remains problems in terms of payment of full salaries. And I want to be upfront with you. As I explained, the federal account goes directly, the proportion for local government goes directly to the local governments. And then of the IGR, a proportion also goes directly to local governments. But money that goes directly from the two sources are insufficient to meet the payroll of the workers. And they had the question that was considered was, do we retrench tens of thousands of workers? Well, we're in the middle of COVID-19, a global pandemic that has caused global economic dislocations, and especially on the African continent. It has caused such dislocations for Africa that about 6 countries in Africa have experienced military coups in the last 2 years. Indeed, I was just in Mali in April last year to receive an award from the Bamako Forum. And as I left Mali, it was the same day I left, a coup was launched by the military, the soldiers of Mali. So we know that this economic crisis is having social and political impacts on the countries of Africa, but even here in Nigeria. And I want to even suggest that the states that have been so harsh in the retrenchment of workers is also linked to those same states that have seen a rise in kidnapping and crime and social concerns. So when the issue came to Kogi State, do we retrench these workers since we do not have the money to pay? The labor union of Kogi State advised the governor not to retrench, and then they committed that whatever money comes in, that the National Union of Teachers and the National Union of Local Government Employees, NOLGE, with the local government councils would sit together and agree how to proportion the money so that everybody will at least take something home. And that is what they have done. And frankly, as an African, I understand this, because Africans, we share. We look out for each other. And that's what they've tried to do in Kogi State. So you will find that at local government level, the salaries are not being paid at 100%. It's because the resources are not there. But the salaries are being paid to the optimum that can be paid and has been agreed by the local governments themselves. So they understand. And I think it's one of the reasons why Kogi State today is one of the most secure states in Nigeria. It's one of the, yes, the governor has also done other things to beef up the security architecture of the state in terms of policing, even to the ward level. But I think if you had violated the rights of people to the degree that you would force them out of work in an economy that is not generating enough jobs, the people would have reacted in an adverse manner. So this shows a governor that has the people's interests at heart, a governor that thinks with human feeling, which is exactly the kind of